Ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not familiar with Trucker John live stream. Is that your live stream? If so, it sounds like you've got a lot of exciting content lined up. Can you tell me more about it? To be honest, I'm not familiar with the Trucker John live stream. It sounds like a lively and exciting show, but I don't have enough information to give an opinion on it. Can you tell me more about it, or maybe provide a link to the stream so I can check it out? Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find any information about a YouTube live stream called Trucker John 3. Could you provide some more context or details about the live stream? Maybe it's a new or small channel that hasn't gained a lot of traction yet. I'm afraid I still can't find anything about a specific live stream called Trucker John on YouTube. It's possible that it's a small channel that's hard to find, or maybe it's a new live stream that hasn't gained a lot of traction yet. Could you tell me more about the live stream, like how long it's been running, what kind of content it usually covers, or any notable guests or segments? Oh, thanks for providing a link. I see that Trucker John 3 is a YouTube channel with over 50 subscribers. It looks like the channel mostly features videos about trucking, including road trip vlogs and trucker stories. Is that right? Wow, over 1,700 subscribers. That's quite impressive. It's clear that Trucker John has a dedicated following of people who are interested in his trucking adventures. Is he a full-time trucker, or does he just do it as a hobby? So if I'm understanding correctly, Trucker John used to drive trucks full-time, but now he drives for Uber and does live streams multiple times a week. Wow, that's quite the career shift. It's interesting to see how people can pivot from one job to another. That's a lot of hustle. What kind of content does he typically cover in his live streams? Welcome to the Trucker John live stream, where the conversation is always on the move. Join us as we navigate a wide range of topics, from politics to food to movies and everything in between. And don't forget to bring your questions and opinions, because we want to hear from you too. Buckle up and let's hit the road. Ha 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 ha. Glad to hear that I finally hit the mark. Let me know if you need any more suggestions or ideas for your live stream intro, or if you want to chat about anything else. I'm here to help and happy to keep the conversation going. Haha, you're very welcome. I'm glad we were able to work together to craft the perfect intro for your live stream. And thanks for giving me the opportunity to flex my creative muscles a bit. It was a fun challenge.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to the place where no topic is off limits. Join me for a whirlwind tour through the latest in politics, pop culture, foodie favourites, and everything in between, with new episodes streaming every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time, Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific Time, and Saturdays around 11 a.m. Pacific Time, right after the Hal Sparks show. There's always something new to discover. Don't miss out on the fun. Tune in now.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. I was just grooving to the music. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Thank you guys for showing up. This was completely spur of the moment. I know I'd been saying, thank you, Aaron, thumbs up. I've been saying I might do a Friday show or whatever, and but I just thought, you know what? Instead of just saying it, I should just do it. So here I am with my crinkled up green screen that needs to be ironed, I know. But thanks everyone for being here. We're doing a Friday nooner. We might only do like an hour or so because I think I only have about 75% battery on my phone. It's not plugged in because I have the mic on as opposed to yesterday when I just used the phone mic. But anyway, thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I see was Brooklyn first? Brooklyn in the house. Brooklyn first. So yeah, I jump for joy. See TJ. Well, thank you, Brooklyn. I appreciate you being here. Josh says, what Friday? Yeah, I mean, I think I might go. I might do Fridays. I might do Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday, maybe. I don't know. Why not? You know, what are they gonna do? Take away my birthday? So I don't know. Maybe we'll hang out on Fridays, maybe around noon. I'll just even make it more confusing because Tuesdays and Thursdays I'm going to be on at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays I might just come on around noon Pacific time. Saturdays around 11 a.m. So why not just add to the confusion? I know people are already confused as it is with all my different times, but yeah, what the hell? We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it works. If it works out. Search for You is here. It says, yay, just got home from work. All right. Kimchi's here. Hey, Kimchi, the goddess. Kimchi, thanks for being here. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights is also in the driver's lounge. Search for You is here. Diane Russell. Hey, Diane, good to see you. Great intro. Thanks. It's one of my. I've been playing all the oldies. I've been going through them. These are all ones that I've had in the past. These last week or so, I've been using old intros just because they're in my library, and I thought I would kind of go through them and just kind of for old time's sake, I guess. Check it out. Cobalt Chris is here. Hello, Cobalt Chris. Aaron's here, of course. Thank Aaron. I didn't even give Aaron or Jolie any warning. I just came on, so thanks for being here. At this with no notice. Jojo Mojo Jojo's here, my favorite name on the internet. Hello. Diane Russell says, I'm usually off moderating elsewhere, so I miss Trucker's shows. And I am wearing, I don't know if you can see it, my Randy Rhoads t-shirt. Let's all send positive thoughts of healing and health to Randy Rhoads. I'm thinking about her. I think anyone who has ever watched the show or her show over the years, we're all thinking about Randy and just hoping for the best outcome, for Randy and everything. Roxanne Epstein's here. Hello, Roxanne. What's happening? Well, we're just hanging out, just doing a Friday nooner. It's noon for me. I know you guys are all in different time zones, so it might not be noon for you. It might be afternoon. But it is 12:19, and I believe the temperature is currently Come on. 96 degrees. I think we're supposed to hit 98. We're going to be upper 90s all week. And we're going to be official. I think yesterday was our first official 100-degree day. And I've in the forecast, a week from today, we're supposed to hit 100, 104. And we are currently about at least 10 or 11 degrees above average, normal average temperature for this time of year. Global warming is real, folks. Air West, I only have about 30 minutes. Then I'm going to look at a house for rent. Okay. All righty. Well, thanks for whatever time we can get you for. And then good luck on the house hunting. Soulcraft's here. Fridays are good days. Seems like less live shows on. I don't know, but Soulcraft makes me do this. MJ Daniel, I only have 75% battery power for my body. Sandy Foltz is here. Hey, Sandy, good to see you. Hello. Thanks for dropping on in into the old driver's lounge. Sandy Foltz, one of the big proponents of me going like every day, being on every day. So you can blame Sandy. No, but I've been thinking about it for a while. So maybe we will do shows Monday through Saturday and see how it goes. Let's just see. MJ Daniel, $0 to give about Republican Party. I am done. Oh, I've been done with the Republican Party since I was 12. Sandy Foltz, did you hear from that apartment yet? No. And I'm getting pissed. I've called. I always get voicemail. It's like they're avoiding me. It's like they took my money. I had to pay them $150. It's like they took my money and now they just disappeared. Brooklyn says, I saw a cute bumper sticker on the back of a Tesla. It says, I bought this car when Elon had 5 kids. That's funny because now he's got like 20. Sandy Foltz, it's 3:30 in Niagara Falls. It's in it's out here. Anyhow, let me know if hopefully we're not having any buffering issues. I know my green screen, it's not exactly right. You can really see the wrinkles. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. What's going on with the green screen? Come on, green screen. Stay over there. I thought I had it set just perfectly, but apparently not. Let's see if I go this way. Just a teensy weensy. Oh, I think I went too far. Yeah, I think I've gone too far that way. I don't know. There we go. It's just gonna have to be good enough. Diana Russell, 78 in Santa Rosa. Beautiful, beautiful weather. Santa Rosa is beautiful. Beautiful place. Brooklyn says, I agree every day. All right. Well, we'll give it a shot. We'll see if I can do it. Cobalt Chris says, perfectly timed show for me. I just spent 40 minutes listening to my useless senators blather on about why there's no disaster declaration for the city of St. Louis. A damn tornado came through. It's just, it really is disgusting, isn't it? Look, I had to touch it, didn't I? I just had to touch it. Oh boy. Anyhow, yeah, these Republicans, they got to go. They got to go. Got to go. Olga Martinez is here. Olga says, with great shame, it's 67 in Concord on the global impacts of methane and CO2. We will be the blast furnace later this year. I would love 67 degrees. The Soulcraft says my neighbor didn't let me use his pool. I couldn't deal with this humidity we get here. I just float. Oh, if my neighbor, yeah, if my neighbor didn't let me use his pool, I couldn't deal with this humidity we get here. I just float for hours looking at the stars. I'm not sure where you live, Soulcraft, but there are places, mainly along the Gulf Coast in Florida, probably Alabama and Mississippi, Louisiana, even the Texas Gulf Coast, anything from around, Houston all the way around. I mean, I don't like to say never, but I could never live in those places, at least not year round. Maybe there's some times of the year in the winter or something where it's nicer, but I hate the humidity. I hate that kind of humidity where you take a shower and as soon as you dry off and get dressed, you're already all sweaty, just from walking or just from getting dressed. I don't know how you guys do it, but I've had people that are from those regions that come out here to Nevada where it's very, very dry, and they ask me the same thing, like, how do you put up with this dryness? Because their lips are like bleeding and shit, And I'm like, well, I lived here my whole life, so I'm acclimated. I am acclimated. Ron Gavel's here. I see you fine. Well, that's good. Good. You see me? You see me? Sandy says, good for now. Brooklyn says, don't worry about the wrinkles. Well, Fancy's the one that's made me, be, what do you call it? You know, conscious about it or whatever. Self-conscious. I guess I'm self-conscious. Because she's the one that brought up the wrinkles. And now I want to get an ironing board and an iron or something. But I don't own any of those things. MJ Daniel says the best sticker I've ever seen on a Tesla is F Elon. I actually watched a video where this person, they showed how you could take your Tesla, take off all the emblems, all the badging, so it doesn't say Tesla on it, no Tesla logos, no Tesla wording, and then they were even putting on like the Audi symbol, the rings or whatever. I thought that was hilarious. Search for you. We don't mind a few wrinkles. Story of my life. Olga Martinez, oi, glowing one, being of good cheer. Many are dissatisfied, as in the underworld has their satisfied power. Did I just say like a spell? Did I just cast a spell? Unknowingly. Diane Russell says, at my age, I don't mind wrinkles. The Soulcraft says, saw where Texas passed the same ban on legal THC and nicotine vapes like we just did. Insane. Killing small businesses that just got going. I thought they were like pro-capitalists, supposedly. Ron Gravel says, the best bumper sticker I've seen is I bought this car before I knew how awful he is. Yeah, there's a lot of varieties on that theme going on. MJ Daniel, because that is what they voted for in those states. Yeah, Darkly Yours is here. Hey, Darkly Yours. Good to see you. Barefoot Bear's here. Hey, Barefoot Bear. Good to see you. Hi, John. Hi, Trucklers. 60 degrees and sunny mid-Michigan. Sounds nice. Sounds like some nice weather. MJ Daniel, MAGA voters have reached the FO phase, the find out phase. So hopefully some of them, are finding out and maybe peeling away. I don't know. Sandy Folt says, I'm so glad you had decided to have your show on more days. I really enjoy your show. Thank you, Sandy. I'm glad you enjoy the show. Of me sitting here reading you guys' chats. That's basically the show. Darkly Yours, it's 60 here. It was 90 a week ago. We've had a lot of that too, where back and forth from 60s to 90s and stuff like that. So, but I have a feeling we're done with the 60s now. We're upper 90s. We're hitting 100. It's going to be June. So I'm pretty sure all the way, who knows, maybe all the way through September or October, it might be pretty much 100 degrees and above all the way till next fall. That's the thing I suck. I suck. I do suck. No, that's the thing I hate, or that's the thing that sucks about here is the heat. But like I said, I've lived here in this desert my whole life, and we've always had heat in the summertime. But the heat is much more. It's much more intensive. It comes sooner, and it stay. Those 100 degrees days, they come sooner and they stay later. You know, it used to be pretty much July and August were our two hottest months, and they still are our two hottest months. But now it's just stretched out into late May and into September and October. You know, occasionally we would have that they call the Indian summer, where we'd have a warm October, but nothing like it is these days. It's just like summer all the way from now until October probably, and that's it's making it rough. It's getting rough. So Soulcraft says, not here. Our state and House government passed it. No citizen input. Cobalt Chris says they both voted not to fund FEMA. The hypocrisy and performative outrage is infuriating. Vote them out, Cobalt Chris. Vote those bastards out. Don't reward them with any more elections, you know. The Soulcraft asked me, North Alabama. Alabama, I've driven through there, you know, in the truck. And, you know, I'm pretty much in the truck under air conditioning. But whenever you step out of the cab, you park, you know, you're walking across a parking lot. And you're just like, woof, wow. Rongoville, we've had a rainstorm that parked on us for 3 days. That's kind of like us. A couple of weeks ago, we had 3 days in a row of rain, which is very, very rare out here. Hey, Music's here, says TJ. Do you wear sunscreen? I don't. I know I should. And I know I've even got, you know, some spray on sunscreen, but I don't, but I should. MJ Daniel says we went to Japan for a student exchange in 1980, lived 2 weeks with a family in Yokohama. In August, the humidity was so bad. Wow. See, this is some places I could not live there, at least not during the most humid months. So, hopefully there's times of the year where it's not so bad, but that's why, you know, I was thinking about maybe moving to Thailand. The dollar exchange rate is so good that you can live pretty well off of a Social Security check, you know. But I've also heard that it's very humid, and I don't like humidity. But there are different types of humidity, so I don't know. I guess I would have to go there, maybe stay there for a few weeks just to check it out. But you know, of course, if I could have a good air conditioning unit, I guess, and just park my ass in front of that during the worst times of the year. That's pretty much what I do here in Vegas. I'm either in an air conditioned car or an air conditioned apartment. I don't go out and dig ditches or anything. So at my age, I'm pretty much just parked in front of an AC. Dan Russell says I lived in Salina, I think Salina, Kansas, for 2 years, and the humidity was awful. I've driven through there in Salina in the truck. Yeah, there's the Midwest heat. I mean the heat and humidity. There is like the Gulf. I think the Gulf, when you're around the Gulf of Mexico, or should I say Gulf of America? No, I shouldn't say that. Fuck Trump. Uh, but then there's humidity in the Midwest. There's humidity, during the summer up in Minnesota, stuff like that. The East Coast has humidity. I think, but I do think that around the Gulf Coast, it's just worse. It just seems like heavier and thicker or something. I don't know. Music. I've been to Salinas, California. Yeah, there's Salina, Kansas, and there's Salinas, California, and I've been to both. Yeah, I've picked up lettuce when I used to do. I was doing some. I was pulling a reefer rig for about a year or so, and I picked up a load of lettuce from Salinas, California, and I think if I remember correctly, I think I took that all the way to the East Coast. That was a pretty. I think that was like a coast to coast trip, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Salinas, California is very pretty. Salina, Kansas, pretty flat, as I recall. That whole area, Kansas and Nebraska and all that's just like a big, just the plains, the plains. Diane Russell says my dad was stationed at the Smoky Hill Air Force Base back in '57. Not much there at the time. Music says spritzing a shirt with some water and putting it on a hanger can handle a lot of the wrinkles. Yeah, well, this isn't a shirt. This is like a big sheet, basically. This green screen. It's like a big sheet. It's green. Maybe I could try spritzing it. I don't know. And it is kind of hanging on a big. There's a pole and there's a bar that goes across. It's just hanging from that. Maybe I should spritz it. MJ Daniels saw that on Seattle News. People were volunteering to replace the logo for people. Yeah. Music. I'm so pro-capitalist. I'm communist. Ron Gravel. I'm a blend of capitalist and socialism. Like my dad said, I've told this story before. Back in I think about 1973, we were in the car. We were listening to the radio. It was on KFI. And the only reason I bring this up is because there were talk shows before Rush Limbaugh. And we would listen to KFI, and they had talk shows. They weren't as fucking, so like right-wing propaganda as we see nowadays. But they had talk shows, and they had call-in shows. And there was there was some topic came up about they were talking about welfare and entitlements and stuff like that, and people were calling in and saying, "I don't think we should do this. I think it's communist or whatever." And I remember my dad just turned and looked at me, and he wanted me to know how he felt about this subject, and he said, son, we are a big enough and rich enough country. And this is in 1973. Okay, just so you know, get the context or the time frame. This wasn't in 2000. This wasn't in 2025. When this was in 1973, and my dad was right. We're a big enough and rich enough country, and I don't know if we were the richest country in the world at that time, but we certainly were a big enough and rich enough country that we can do both. He said we can help people with welfare and with Medicare and with Social Security, and we can have capitalism where people start businesses and they earn profits and they make a profit. We can do both. My dad told me that, and it's stuck with me ever since. So music, you're absolutely right. My dad would agree with you, as do I. Diane Russell says, just shows how stupid Texas is. State that legalized pot are making millions, or states that. Brooklyn with 99 cents super sticker. Thank you, Brooklyn. You get a yippee with that nice 99 center with the smiley face with sunglasses. I like that. The Soulcraft says, and lab tested, regulated, and taxed, and now they want to go backwards. It's just stupid because, you know, even maggots like to smoke weed. So what's their fucking point? Who are they fucking addressing here? You know? Elizabeth Fernandez is here. Hey, Elizabeth, good to see you. Good afternoon to you as well. AM, hello, fellow loungers. Hello, AM. Oliver Brownlow is here. June is busting out all over. MJ Daniel says, grew up in southeastern Washington, Walla Walla, and remember standing in the middle of Main Street at 10 p.m. and yelling, where is everybody? Because there was no traffic. Small town living. Yeah. Music said, I just learned that truckers are way more responsible for the load they carry than you would think. The shipper and receiver are way less responsible than you would think. It is all on the trucker. That's why you have insurance. And you're required to carry insurance. Insurance on your rig, insurance on the trailer, insurance on the cargo. Dark Leors, just spray on tan and rock that orange face. There you go. Music says TJ in Thailand would be very interesting. And yeah, of course, if I went there, I would make some videos and stuff. So maybe, you know, I've been wanting to do that. Maybe I can, once I get settled and everything, maybe I can make a little trip over there for a couple weeks. The most expensive thing is the damn airfare. But once you get there, you know, things are pretty cheap. But the airfare is pretty expensive. Olga Martinez, I prefer heat over cold. On humid, I just down dress. Bite me. I like moderate. Darkly Yours, you can get a residency visa to move to a nice part of Mexico, and it would be much cheaper. I know a few people. I've thought about Mexico. I have thought about Mexico. The exchange rate isn't as good as Thailand, but I have thought about Mexico, and not only because of the exchange rate, but everything, but also it's way closer. I mean, depending on where you go, I mean, you can almost just drive back to the States, or it's a pretty short airplane flight. Whereas Thailand, I mean, I think the tickets are anywhere from like 1,500 to 2,000 for a round trip. I'm pretty sure. The last time I checked, it's been a while, and it's like a 20-hour flight. It's a big deal. Let's say if I was somewhere in Mexico, if I needed to get up to the States, something happened, I need with my family, with my kids or whatever, or you know, we're just getting together for Christmas or birthdays or whatever. Then you know, I actually haven't checked the air flights, but I would imagine it's a lot cheaper than going to Thailand, and it's a lot shorter flight. So Mexico, I've thought about it. I've looked into that. Oliver Brownlow, I prefer to call it the Gulf of Biden. Sandy says you should try to stop at the office of the apartment building. I've thought about that too. They're trying to get in and find out what's going on. Yeah, I definitely was thinking about doing that probably today. Either that or just call some of the other places, because I've had a few other places. Well, I had one in particular that did call me back. A whole different place that I haven't really looked at. I've only seen it through online photos. I did speak with someone over the phone, I think a couple times. And then the person I was actually trying to get to, I think, did call me back a couple days ago. and asked me if I was still interested in this apartment. And I never did call him back because I thought I had this other one done. But the bad thing about it, well, number one is they might take me with the eviction. Because I told them I have an eviction, and so I guess the owner or something, or maybe whoever the head honcho is, was supposed to get back to me, and that's who called me back because they said they talk things over. They might be open to it, but it is a little more expensive. I think it's a 1 bedroom, and it's over 1,200. I think for that one, which is still cheaper than here. That's still like $400 cheaper than here. But so that's kind of why. But I think it's in a better location. Like the one I'm going to now, I really don't like the location. I mean, it's okay as far as like being safe or whatever, or not being too run down. But it's way on the outer edge of town, out on Boulder Highway. I don't really like that area. This other one that called me back is kind of in the heart of Vegas. And I like being closer to Vegas, closer to the Strip. And this one is much closer. And so anyway, I don't know. I might call them back, and even though, like I say, it might be almost 1,300. It's like 1,250 or something like that. I forget exactly, but so yeah, lots of stuff to still work out, I guess. Music says when I was in Salinas, everyone kept telling me it was a salad bowl of the U.S. Well, yeah, they grow a lot of lettuce there, and some other other veggies, I guess, to make the salad. A salad really isn't a salad if it's just lettuce. But yeah, lots of lettuce out of there for sure. Music says I live in Illinois, maybe the ugliest of all the states. Illinois it's pretty plain. I remember when I first started driving, and it was in the fall. Oh man, I remember one of my first trips going back there. It was in the fall, and all the leaves had already fallen, and so all the trees were just bare, and everything was bare and gray, and I was just like, God, it is kind of ugly out here. So I kind of get what you're talking about there. I get what you're talking about there. Music. The Soulcraft says I miss Santa Cruz, one of my favorite cities for sentimental reasons. Santa Cruz, beautiful, beautiful place. Just south of the Bay Area there. Diane Russell says sunscreen should be used. Melanoma is very. I know. I'll dig it out. I'll dig it out and I'll start using it. Every time I leave the apartment, I'll just spray myself. I got the spray kind. Music, I would love to surf and meet the love of my life. Sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah, that sounds good. I'm all for that. Rosanna's here, by the way. Hello, Rosanna. Says Diane, I am moving to California soon. It's a little town near Napa Valley, just north of the Bay Area there. And it's very beautiful up there. Talk about beautiful country. Beautiful. James Williams says Mexico is pretty upset with Americans as well. I wouldn't venture too far from the gated communities until Trump and his policies are gone. That's true. I mean, if you go, yeah, I would definitely go to where all the expats are at, and hopefully, like you say, gated, or kind of a safe place. Hopefully, yeah. But that is a concern. That's definitely a concern. Soulcraft says, check out surf punk band I was in briefly called Deikaiju? Maybe the song Zombie Harem or Phased Spiders. Diane Russell says, Rosanna, wonderful. You'll love it. You're not too far away from me in Santa Rosa. Yeah, those are all beautiful parts of the state of California. Very beautiful up there. Sandy Foltz says, do you know who Josh Allen is? He's the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills. He had a birthday on May 21st. Happy birthday to Josh Allen. Yes, I do know who Josh Allen is. So one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league right now, probably. The Soulcraft says it's ancient people like my Governor Kay Ivey. Oh, and I guess who's running for it now? Tubbs. Tubbs. Come on, Tubbs. AM says, let's not forget Ollie North and his so-called conservative propaganda radio show in the 90s. Well, that's way after, though. That's way after even Rush Limbaugh. You know, I mean, it was Rush Limbaugh that got all this shit really, really going for being a mouthpiece of the right wing and the Republican Party and all that. I mean, I'm sure someone will go, what about so and so? He had a show, but nothing like Rush Limbaugh. Let's see here. Yeah, Bob Grant. See, Brooklyn, Bob Grant had a talk show when I was in here. Yeah, you can bring up Bob Grant and stuff like that, but they didn't have the national syndicated reach that Rush Limbaugh got. There was something about Rush. I mean, he started off local. He started off, I think, in Sacramento, California. I think he might have started off as sports or something, but then he, somehow transitions into talking politics, and it was all right wing, and it was all very, very much, tilted to conservatives and all that kind of shit. And it was Rush Limbaugh that really, I think, eventually led to Fox News on, being the television version of a Rush Limbaugh show. 999 super sticker from Rosanna. Thank you so much, Rosanna. Yippee! With that hippo in the swivel chair, the office, swiveling in the office chair, having a good time. Looks like having a gay old time. Aaron West, I'm in the car now, just listening. Have a great afternoon. You too, Aaron. Again, good luck on the house hunting. Hope that all goes well. Robert Perez is here. Robert Perez, good to see you from down San Diego way. Thanks for being here, Robert. Says Trucker John in the afternoon. What an afternoon delight. Afternoon delight. Thanks, Robert. I think we might be trying these. We might be going on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at noon. Hell, I might not even do the 9 a.m. shows anymore on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I might just do Monday through Friday at noon. Since I do, with the taxi driving job, I do end up staying up kind of late and getting home late. And by the time I get to bed, sometimes it's 4 a.m. before I go to sleep. So doing a 9 a.m. show has been getting harder and harder for me to do. Maybe I will just do nooners Monday through Friday. Let me know what you guys think in the chat below. Let me know what you guys think. Should I just do 12 noon Pacific time, Monday through Friday? I might just do that because, like I said, the 9 a.m. has been getting harder and harder for me to do since I'm doing, because I end up doing taxi, usually till about 1:30 in the morning. By the time I get home, it's like almost 2:30, and then usually I like to watch a little bit of Netflix. I know I should just go straight to bed, but I end up watching 1 or 2 episodes of something. So the next thing I know, it's 3:30, 4, and I'm like, oh my god, I gotta get to sleep. So maybe I should just do nooners from now on. Let me know what you guys think about that. Let's discuss it. Rosanna says, Diane, I thought you lived in Michigan. No, that's the other Diane Russell. There's 2 Diane Russells. Yeah. The other one lives in Michigan. The one that sings? The singing one lives in Michigan. Look at that. We just got our goal. I'll check that out in a second. Looks like it was Kimchi, maybe. Kimchi's $1.09 super chat. Yippee! Thank you, Kimchi. We achieved our goal. Um, let's see. Darkly Yours says, "Yeah, my last ticket to South Korea was at 1600, and that was a decade ago." Was that one way or was that round trip? Pretty sure the ones I was looking at, it's probably been at least a year since I checked it. I think they were. I think it was round trip tickets. Depending on what airline or whatever, it was between 1400 and 1600, I think. And that might have been still kind of coming out of COVID, so prices maybe are even up since then. Socrates says, "Fun gig, but the Kaiju sticks to their formula. They still do crazy live shows with fire. With fire." Josh says, "TJ, if you ever do visit Thailand, you absolutely must go watch some long tail races and some rice tractor races." What's a long tail race? I don't even know what that means. I kind of can imagine what a rice tractor is, but I don't know what a long tail is. Rubber Press says, "Don't do it, Johnny. I lived in Peru for 3 years and started to get worried that Trump would close the borders and I would be out in the cold. It could still happen." Yeah, who knows? That's true. Josh says those are both crazy, wild motorsports. James Williams says, "I think my wife attended the last corporate convention the company is going to hold in Las Vegas." Yeah, I know the Canadians. They're not coming down anymore. I used to always get Canadians in my cab or in rideshare, and the ones that do come down, they're like saying like this is. I've had a couple of them say this is probably the last time they'll be coming to Vegas. And by that and last time coming to America, because a lot of times the only place they do is they make trips down to Vegas. Um, Music says, "Of note, TJ's skin does look sun damaged." Thank you, Music. David Willer Salinas had 2 romaine lettuce recalls because of upstream cows. Oh, yeah. I think I remember that. At least one of those. Sandy Foles, "Hey, Trucker John, do you have any brothers or sisters?" Yeah, I've got a brother and a sister, and a son and a daughter. But President Trucker John blush. Sometimes I do. Um, Sandy Foltz, "I have the hots for Josh Allen. He's a hunk of a man." Um, MJ Daniel, big three. I think they were called Dr. Laura, Rush, and Art Bell. I only listened to Art Bell. Could not stand Rush from the very first. Yeah, but it was Rush Limbaugh that got the whole thing started with this right wing politics. Yeah, before there were lots of sports shows. There were like doctor shows. There were community shows where they would just talk about the local communities. Uh, there were very little just about politics and in talking about right wing and putting a right wing spin on things the way Rush did. Very, very few, if any, and if they were very localized, very regional. Rush Limbaugh was the first one that really went nationwide, propped up by big companies, put into thousands of radio stations across the country, and just was really a voice of the Republican Party and of conservatives. You know, not Dr. Laura and was after Rush. Art Bell was, I think, after Rush, and they were very different formats. Rush Limbaugh was the one. When we're talking about right wing politics, we're talking about propaganda machines for the GOP. It was Rush Limbaugh that really transformed radio. Because before, you might have that Bob Grant in New York or whatever, you might have some dude here, some dude there. Rush Limbaugh was syndicated or whatever. He was put on a network, and then out of that grew all of these right wing talkers. So they had a whole daily format, with Bill O'Reilly, Sean Hannity, Mark Levin, all those assholes. They had it from morning till night, and then they would repeat the shows. They didn't go to infomercials. They would repeat the shows 24/7 on over 1,000 stations, 1,500 stations across the country, and it all started with Limbaugh. Walter Makarovich says, "Hi, Trucker John. I think I'm going to see the new Mission Impossible movie, Dead Reckoning, this weekend. Looks good." Well, good. I hope that sounds like fun. I hope it's a good movie. Is this going to be the last one for Tom Cruise? How many more of those can he do? I mean, the guy's not getting any younger, and he still does, like, I think most of his stunts and everything. Robert Perez, I'm available 24 hours a day, so you can have a show anytime. MJ Dan, you go ahead, sleep in. Sandy Foltz says that's good Monday to Friday. But as far as the later time, should I just come on at noon instead of 9 a.m.? There's the Kimchi Super Sticker. Once again, thank you so much, Kimchi. There you go. I'm going to give it a heart. Music says I smoke 6 or 7 bowls on top of that. I eat my bowls. I had a bowl of cereal last night. I'm so funny. I usually have a bowl of cereal at night. Now I'm out of cereal. AM says 12 noon Monday through Friday. Sounds good. All right. So maybe we'll just do that. But Perez, you should have a show after you get off work so we can watch you snore on live stream. I'd buy that for $1. Really. You would watch me sleeping. That sounds a little creepy. I wear a CPAP machine headgear, so I would have my headgear on. Maybe that'd be interesting. It's like, is he gonna choke to death? Does that thing really work? That might be a draw. That might be a draw. Music says 12 Pacific is perfect for me. Mr. Bob Newell, I can't hear you. Hey, Mr. Bob Newell, thanks for being here. Oh, Nurmudge is here. Hey, there's Nurmudge. Hello, Nurmudge. Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out with us. Stephanie B2. Hey, Stephanie B2 is here. Newsom is pissing me off. He's backing out on all the medical he was going to give the immigrants, and now he's backing out. And full disclosure, let's say, I don't know, 6 months ago or even 4 months ago, I don't know. I was I was totally on board with Gavin Newsom. I mean, I thought he would be a great candidate. When he was going on like Fox or he was going on these shows, he was putting these right wingers and the Fox News people in their place. He said all the right things. I mean, it was great, and I was like, man, this would be. He reminded me like if Joe Biden were 50 or 55 or whatever, however old Newsom is. This would be a Joe Biden at 55. But now I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know. Nurmudge sent 5 token memberships. Thank you, Nurmudge. Yippee to Nurmudge. Golf Marine got one. I haven't seen Golf Marine in a while, so maybe that'll bring Golf Marine back. Alvin Stube got one. All right. Dave H got one. Joy Eldred got one. I haven't seen Joy in a while. And then Sia. So maybe those folks will come back in and hang out with us. So thank you, Nurmudge. I appreciate you. That helps out the show. Helps us grow and brings people in, maybe. Check out the show. Kimchi, be right back again. Kimchi's just in and out, in and out, in and out. James Williams, boat races. I guess that was about the long tail thing. But the rice tractor, I thought they were just tractors, some sort of tractor racing or something. Music says my brother lived in was in Thailand for 8 months, enjoyed his time, but got in a motorbike accident and got gonorrhea. I don't think the motorbike accident had anything to do with the gonorrhea. No, just saying. Mr. Bob Newell, I'll never go to Montreal again. That'll teach them. That'll teach those Canadians. Rosanna, I love ketchup. I do put ketchup on my hamburger, and I do dip my fries in ketchup. I know that some people hate ketchup for some reason. Mr. Bob Newell, is Russ still alive? No, he has moved on. He's moved down, probably, hopefully. Oliver Brownlow says, don't worry, there won't be any more recalls of contaminated lettuce under Trump because nobody's going to be monitoring food safety. Yeah, no more recalls. So it means it's not happening. Mr. Balnu, Rush, R.I.P. Mr. How about Rush, R.I.H. So there, Mr. Bob Newell. And Daniel, yes, Rush on the radio and Fox on TV hit close to the same time, and the U.S. has been getting worse since. They gave the very worst Americans permission to hate. And they brainwashed a lot of people. I think my dad might have been one of them at the end there. Brooklyn says, well, at least Rush is dead. Music Rush started that whole movement. Robert Perez, Michael Savage has a voice that could kill the dead again. Oliver Brownlow, what made Limbaugh possible was that Reagan repealed the Fairness Doctrine. And then media companies really artificially propped him up. Him and people like Glenn Beck and all of them by just putting him on over 1,000 stations, putting him on multiple stations in the same market. And they had the money to just put him on these stations and not worry about ratings. Whereas anyone else, if you were trying to do something that was more liberal or even moderate or whatever, you didn't get that kind of backing and support. Mr. Bono, Russia's cause of death is under suspicion. He died of cancer. Olga Martinez, Oi there. James Jaramillo. But further sailings, 12 pounds of soybeans for $20. That's all you need to support American farmers. Buy soy. A pressure cooker is needed to cook them. Really good. MJ Daniel has not watched any Mission Impossible movie. I've watched the first few. I don't think I saw the last couple. Oliver Brownlow, the current one is said to be the last Mission Impossible. Or at least until they reboot it with whoever the next action star will take it over. Music, I ate a bunch of bowls of cereal at night too. Well, I don't eat a bunch, I eat one. Music, I don't eat one, I ate like 5. Well, I just eat one. Mr. Bob Newell, Tom Cruise got the Scientology influence. Yeah, he's a Scientologist. Robert Perez has PTSD, so I don't sleep very much. That sucks. Mr. Bob Newell, you CPAP also? Yes, I do CPAP also. Olga Martinez, no cereal. F that. Tish. James Jeremio, dang bro, move like yesterday. A pressure cooker is aluminum, soon under tariff. Mr. Bob Newell, I now regret some of my previous comments. Diane Russell says, for your information, truckers, sunscreen tends to expire after a year or so. It's recommended you buy. I think the ones I have are pretty old, so I guess I'll have to go buy a new thing of it. MJ Daniel, show your feet while you're sleeping. Some people are into that. Oh yeah, they are. Oh yeah, they are. Cynthia C's here, but it's the truck emojis. I just made that up. Truck emojis. Diana Russell, that's kind of weird, MJ. The Soulcraft says, I haven't given up on Newsom yet. He may be playing the long game. Yeah, I'm hoping that he's maybe just smarter than me, because I think he's a pretty smart dude, and he has some sort of strategy going. I don't know. It's being tactful and strategic. I'm hoping that's it. I'm still hoping for that. Mr. Bob New, what's Vegas odds on Biden? On Biden, what? Dying? Well, probably 1-to-1, because everybody dies. I don't know. Sunny folks, I have a problem with sleeping due to the upstairs tenant making noise all hours of the night. That sucks. That sucks. You got noisy neighbors. I have that problem every now and then. Living in apartments. Olga Martinez, I eat no bread. For real, I'm done with bread. I know, and I eat too much bread. Way too much bread. Robert Perez, I love ketchup. It just makes me fart up a storm. What is this with everything? Like, people say stuff makes you fart. How do you know it's the ketchup that's making you fart? How do you know it's not just, I don't know, something else on the plate? Why would ketchup make you fart? I don't get it. Are you eating like a whole bottle at a time? I don't know. Paul J's here. Howdy, homies. Howdy, Paul J. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for jumping on into the old driver's lounge. I do appreciate you. James Williams says, I suspect a lot of Democrats are just standing back waiting for the wheels to fall off. The tariffs haven't even started, and corporate America is packing up and leaving. Yeah, that is a strategy. Just let them sort of hang themselves or whatever. Sandy Foltz says, I recall on cucumbers. I hadn't heard about that one. The Soulcraft says just watch Jim Belushi ruin a crop on his reality show about growing cannabis. It's a lot harder. I've never grown it. I think my brother was going to try to grow it some years ago and try to sell it and stuff. And I think he was telling me all about it, like, you know, you got to have like grow lights, and you got to have a sprinkler system, and you got to have it in this and in this and in that. And even that, it might not come out very good. And then I also had a person, after I got divorced back in the early 90s, and I went ahead and I rented a room from this guy that I worked with for a while. And he was growing his own pot just in the backyard, in his backyard. I think he just threw some seeds out there, and it looked like pot. It smelled like pot, but we would smoke it, and I swear to God, and I'm a really lightweight. Like if I just smoke, a few hits off a joint, I'm like, I'm all, but this stuff was like, it was like nothing. I could have smoked, because he had like a shoebox full of, dried, he would dry the weed and crumble it or whatever, however you do it, just completely full of weed that he had, taken the seeds out and the stems out and made it so you could roll a joint or whatever. And I could have smoked that whole fucking box and not got high. So growing weed is a lot trickier than people think. Brooklyn, I hate Glenn Beck too. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. Search for You. Is the Senate working on the big beautiful bill? Well, I guess it's going over them. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about exactly what the time frame is, but since it did pass in the House, 215 to 214, it should be going over to them. I haven't heard any updates on what's going on there though. MJ Daniel, I put ketchup on my hot dog. Oh, I do too. Absolutely. Why would I sue you? That's how you're supposed to do it. I put ketchup and mustard at the same time on my hot dogs. That's how you do it. That's how you're supposed to do it. At least in California, that's how we do it. I don't know. Dick MacGyver Anderson says, I'm here for the feet. I hear there was going to be feet. Oh boy, we've opened a can of worms there. Should I do a foot cam? Sugar John's foot cam. Tune in nightly. As I go to sleep, I'll just have the camera right on my feet, and you'll hear the gentle whir of the CPAP machine in the background, I guess. Cynthia C says, MJ Daniel, I had a Chicago-type hot dog a few weeks ago. I thought it was the best I ever had. What is the Chicago-type? Is that where they just load it up with like relish and mustard and stuff? Onions? I don't know. Here's Fish. Fishwa 454. First of all, thanks for being here. Glad you joined us. Says, someone mentioned this guy going to show his feet. When do you get some feet? The feet lovers have come. The feet lovers. I don't even. I am barefoot right now. I don't know if I can't even get my foot. I'm not limber enough to get my foot up to here. Just pretend this is my foot. Ooh, look at that, sexy feet. Look at my sexy feet. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, my feet are so sexy. It doesn't work, huh? It has to be the real thing. There ain't nothing like the real thing. MJ Daniel, good Tom Cruise movie, Legend, 1985. I think I remember that movie. Good Bexer, foot shot soon. Now this explains why I have another channel. It's called Feet on the Dashboard. It's a movie. It's a short movie I made. It's like 8.5 minutes long. I made that movie. It got accepted into a film festival here in Las Vegas, and I lived in California at the time, so that was kind of like a big deal. The thing got accepted to play at this film festival here in Vegas, and then after we did all that, and then I didn't get accepted into any other film festivals, so I went ahead and posted it on Facebook, and the thing's got like, I don't know, I want to say it's got like 90,000 views, and I mean right off the bat, I mean it kind of died off. But I think between that, and then I also posted like little teasers and little like of it, between the teasers and the actual film and everything. I mean that channel's got probably almost 200,000 views, and the majority of those were within the first few months, and then it just kind of dies off. So for all you foot lovers out there, if you want, hell, I could probably get the link, since my moderators are busy. Let's see. Let me get the link for the foot lovers out there. And let's see. There's got to be a way. Okay, there we go. So let me come on back over here. Back to Trucker John. Oops. And for all you foot lovers, there's the link to my movie called Feet on the Dashboard, and there's some pretty choice shots of a pretty girl's feet in that movie. You want to go check it out? All right then. Yeah, James Jaramillo is here. Hello, James. James Jaramillo says MJ Daniel, a hot dog isn't a hot dog without ketchup, mustard, and sweet relish, in my opinion. I do the ketchup, mustard. I'm not really into the relish, although every now and then I'll put some relish on it. But I can live without the relish. But sometimes, a good relish is good. But I'm good with just mustard and ketchup. Dick McIver Anderson, I would need a whole bottle of ketchup on this fella's feet. Oh boy, what have we done? Oliver Bradlow, the pork and beans you ate with the hot dog. Yeah, that could be what gave you the gas, was the pork and beans. I don't think the ketchup is what gives you the gas. Search for you. Do we know Dick? I don't know Dick. Wasn't that a TV show with Kevin Bacon? The only reason I know that show, I think that was the name of it. My son was a background extra in one couple of the episodes of that. David Winner, John, Nicole I think he means Sandler, is looking at 12 or maybe 1 p.m. Oh, so I would be competing with Nicole. Everybody wants that 12 o'clock spot. MJ Daniel says, hemp seems easy to grow. The kind you smoke, you need a little more knowledge about plants. Yeah, in order to get that good THC level, I guess. Yeah, music says I've never had a successful, even remotely successful grow. Um, there's Marsha. Hello, Marsha. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us here in the Old Drivers Lounge. Sandy Foltz says my church building is building a garden. The veggies will be given to church members. That's nice. That's very nice. Paul J. Never have to smoke shitty weed in Washington again. Dick McGovern Anderson really wants the foot cam, yeah. James Williams, I've been growing cannabis for decades. Special attention to the fertilizer is critical. We learned when America contaminated Mexican countryside with paraquat. Fish we 454. I just subbed for the feet. Well, what can I tell you? David in Granbury, Texas, truck stop, shower, and foot cam. Wow, hot dog. You know, hey, if I could get 100,000 subscribers just showing my feet, my ugly old flat feet. I am flat footed. If that gets me 100,000 subs, I would do it. Mike H is here, freaking foot weirdo. Hey, don't yuck somebody else's yum, Mike. Josh, it was a good short film. Thank you, Josh. Oliver Brownlow, of course your film didn't go anywhere after being shown in Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I'm just skipping down a little bit here. James Hiramio, almost time for the 4-letter word work. Take care, everybody. Thank you, James. Thanks for being here. Have a good day at work. Try your best to have a good day, and we'll hope to see you on the next one. Oh, yeah, I'm just now getting to the link that I put in. There's the link to Feed on the Dashboard. If you want to check it out, there's some, I'm telling you, some choice foot shots in that one. Fishwa 454 says, I'll be back. Got to go handle this hog. Oh my gosh. Okay, I shouldn't have probably even read that one. And check out this foot video. Be back after. Gee, okay. Well, some things you don't have to share everything. Okay, with us. MJ Daniel pot in the 70s could be hit and miss, but we mostly had some pretty good stuff. Dave in Grand Prairie, Texas says, doctor? I don't know. So good to see you. Where else do we get our news this time of day? I don't know. Not here. You're not getting much news here. Other than the fact that we have some foot lovers. We got some foot lovers in the crowd. James Williams says Reagan war on drugs employed some sketchy practices for sure. For sure. Non-useful's here. Hey, non-useful, good to see you. Thanks for jumping on in. Non-useful says the pollen in Missouri is out of control. Eugh. Yeah, mix that with the humidity. Fun time. MJ Daniel war on drugs started by Nixon to go after black, liberal, and Democratic Americans. Mainly the blacks, though. Non-useful. Hi, Diane Russell. I think Andrea and Stephanie Miller show chat is MAGA. You talking about Andrea? Our Andrea? Who longtime moderator for House Sparks? I did see she's got the wrench now for that Progressive Voices channel. She's not MAGA. If you're talking about that, Andrea, she's not MAGA. Maybe we're not talking about the same Andrea. I don't know. Non-useful. Diane, she's the mod and Stephanie in House. Yeah. Why would you think she's MAGA? She's not MAGA. I've never seen anything from Andrea that would indicate to me that she's MAGA. James Williams says at least Bush didn't contaminate the drugs. He just imported and sold it to Americans to fund the Contras. That was under Reagan. I mean, Bush was VP, I guess, but a lot of people say that it was actually, Poppy Bush that was running things, or no, that was that. Yeah, that was Pappy Bush, H.W. Bush, right? The Soulcraft says, "Hey, I have femme feet with high arches, while all OnlyFans them in strappy high heels." Hey, dude, do it. Hey, man, there's no shame in that. You might make a nice little living off of that. There's no shame in it. I'm all for it. I support you 100%. David in Grand Prairie, Texas. Doppelganger Andrea. Now we know. City folks, what are your plans for the holiday? If you're talking to me, I'm just going to work through the weekend. I'll be working. No plans on going anywhere. Chris Doug's here. Hey, Chris Doug, good to see you. Thanks for dropping on in. Chris says the weather forecast for the holiday weekend is just awful. Beaches near me will be 55 to 60 degrees and windy. Mother Nature is trying to tell us something. Chris Doug, I'm not sure. I forget whereabouts you're from, but it's a little chilly. Not very good beach weather, is it? Non-useful says Trucker John. Tax-free tips are only good with cash only. If you tip with app, when did I say it wasn't? And why are we talking about that now? That was on yesterday's show. Are you watching yesterday's show, but you're in today's chat? And I never did. In fact, I even brought that up. That's why I said cash is king. And I mentioned that if you pay with a debit card or credit card, then it's documented, and so you would have to report that. Whereas when it's cash, I said people almost never, ever, when they have cash tips, report 100% of their. Like if they made, let's say if they made $100 in cash tips, they'll just if they're reporting it. I mean, sometimes you don't have to even report it if your income is so low, you're not itemizing. But anyhow, you might just say, I made $25. If you're actually writing things down and reporting things. But anyhow, that was. Thanks for bringing up yesterday's issue, I guess. Oliver Brownlow says Poppy Bush was probably importing heroin because they're made from poppies. Diane Russell created a new ID, non-useful. You can go back and chat. Yeah, work around the system, non-useful. Get a puppet account or a what do you call it? Sock puppet account or something. I don't know. Brooklyn, New York. I'm going to get a ton of junk food. I'm going to stuff my face all day on Memorial Day. That's the way you do it. I remember when I was a kid growing up, we always had Memorial Day get-togethers and barbecues and sometimes it'd be in our backyard, sometimes it'd be at the park, or sometimes it'd be at some other friend or family member's backyard. But it was always, kind of a good get together, and there was always the barbecue hamburgers and hot dogs, or maybe throw some steaks on there. It was always a good time, Memorial Day weekend. And I know it's supposed to be about memorializing and remembering all of those that have made the ultimate sacrifice in serving this country in the military. And we would put up little flags, American flags, and so, we knew, but that didn't mean you couldn't have a good time with your family and friends and have a nice barbecue. Don't lay a guilt trip. I'm not saying you guys are, but there does seem to be. I remember a few years ago, maybe it's been a while now, maybe like 20 years ago, but there was a thing where, about, and this has become from like Bill O'Reilly or some asshole will be like, don't forget what the real meaning of the holiday is. This is about remembering the fallen. This isn't about having a good time or whatever. It's like, fuck you. I can do both. I can have a good time and I can remember the fallen, and I can take the day to remember their sacrifice, and I can still have a nice get together with my family. So fuck you, Bill O'Reilly, and all your horse shit. Anyhow, Brooklyn. Oh yeah, I read that one. Fancy's here. Hey, Fancy. Guess what? We got a new time slot. I think we're switching to 12 noon. Might be switching to 12 noon every day, or Monday through Friday. I don't know. I kind of like this time slot since, like I said earlier, I go to bed so late now because of the taxi driving thing. I might just come on at noon every day now. But yeah, good to see Fancy. Non-user says that Trump tipped Stormy Daniels with a check. That's because he's an idiot. And also, why would he tip her? She wasn't a prostitute, as far as I know. Maybe you admit, I don't know. Maybe you admit all he gave her was the tip. I don't know. James Williams says if Melania can do nudes, I don't think anyone should be yucking foot photos. Fancy, welcome to Driver. Yippee, Fancy. Thank you so much. Becoming a member, being a driver member. Oliver Brownlow, you're the puppet. Sandy Foltz, I'm making barbecue chicken. That sounds awesome. Josh says there's lake trout derby this weekend, but my boat isn't registered and I don't have anything with a tow hitch. Well, I guess you're either can you fish from the shore or from a dock, or can you rent a boat or go out on someone else's boat? Maybe. I don't know. Brooklyn, I hate Bill O'Reilly too. Yeah, I hate that piece of shit. I mean, that whole Fox lineup and all those right wingers. I really hate all of them. And I know people say you're not supposed to hate. Hating is bad, and it's bad for your soul, or it's not healthy, and you shouldn't hate because then you just become them or whatever bullshit. I don't give a fuck about any of that. I hate those motherfuckers. They deserve to be hated, as far as I'm concerned. Diane Russell says it was a hush money payoff, non-useful. Yeah, they paid her off, but did they pay her off in cash I guess it was checks, huh? Because Michael Cohen was writing out these checks for like 40 grand and it was like 6 checks or something and some weird shit. Why didn't they just go get a bag of cash and go here? I mean, that's what he couldn't come up because they only paid her what 100 grand or 140 grand or something to shut her up. You telling me this multi-billionaire can't somehow just get 140 in cash? You would think he would just have that laying around. I would if I was a multi-billionaire, which he claims to be. Even back then, he was supposed to be worth $6 or $7 billion. You better believe your fucking ass. I'm gonna have a few hundred grand just fucking in under my bed or something, or just like for just walking around money at all times. I'm always gonna have 500 grand in a safe in my closet or something. If I was worth $7 billion, I'm always gonna have a few hundred grand laying around. And you couldn't just go, here, stuff this money in this bag, go give it to fucking what's her face. Tell her to shut the fuck up. I mean, did you think of it like if we have it documented with checks, then that means that it'll prove that we paid her, and so then she won't say anything or something like I don't know. Who knows? Who the fuck knows? Non-useful says the Dow is down 256.0 points. That doesn't sound good. Dash is here. Hey, Dash, good to see you. A paddle. Brooklyn, I love hate. What, are you kidding me? What, are you kidding me? I love hate. You crack me up, Brooklyn. Let's see. Chris Doug says, forgive my ignorance, but Trump's entire affair with Stormy Daniels took place during his marriage to Melania. Is that not adultery? It is, I believe, adultery. If you have sex out of marriage, that's adultery. I don't know who said it wasn't. I don't know. Dash says, for what the election from Vitter and Mike Johnson or a mushroom spanking? That's almost like a non sequitur to me. I don't know. Josh, you're talking about the boat that he has that's not registered and can't use, apparently. Sandy Folds, Trump should not have been allowed to run again. Well, by law, he was eligible. You know? You just would think people would have said, I'm not voting for a 34-time convicted felon, adjudicated rapist, but they did. Now, Newsel giving us some of the cattle prices here. Last year was $1,500. Now it's up to $2,400. James Williams says it bothers me that Fox promotes frauds and fakes, and Americans elect them anyways. That's uncomfortable on so many levels. It's just this huge propaganda machine. We were talking about Rush Limbaugh earlier and Fox News. Between those two outlets, I really put a lot of it on that. This really, really 24/7, 365 propaganda blowtorches, right-wing propaganda blowtorches, has had a lot to do with it, I believe. Jolie's here. Hey, Jolie, good to see you. It says, I hate Trump with the fire of 1,000 suns. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Just heard fuck not hating people on the other side. Just a quick hi. I'm at work, you all. Thank you, Jolie, for jumping in. This might be our new time. I might be just doing 12 o'clock shows from now on. So, didn't even discuss this with Jolie or Aaron. I just popped on today. Non-useful says Fox big story today. Only women use straws, never a man. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I love straws. I prefer straw. Not if I'm drinking out of a bottle, but. Marsha says, Nurmudge, if you're still on here, hello. I think Nurmudge was on here in the very beginning. I don't know if Nurmudge is still here or not. Dash says, never mentioned that Stormy ran for office against Mike Joe and filed 140K bankruptcy, stepping out. Oh, is it Mike Johnson? They from the same state? And filed 140K bankruptcy? Stepping out? What does stepping out mean? She's stepping out. Stormy stepping out. Dash says allegedly. Okay. So that means we're in the clear. We won't get sued. Sandy Foltz says, I'm the one who told you to come on more days. Yes, you are, Sandy Foltz. Sandy Foltz says I should be on every day. So, Chris Doug, smoothie or milkshake without a straw? I prefer straw for the milkshake. Sometimes if it's so, rich and creamy and thick, I'll use a spoon for a few bites of it. Like the spoon. I like it when you got like a whipped cream on top or something, and then I might use the spoon to sort of mix some of the whipped cream and the chocolate, because it's usually chocolate. And so I might do a spoon for a little bit, but then you got to go to the straw. Yeah. Definitely straw. Belfast Bob, greeting fellow travelers. Greetings. Hello, Belfast Bob. Thanks for being here. Thanks for popping on in. Thanks for hanging out with us for a little bit. Now, I should probably, in the show, when I started, I only had about 75% battery. So it might just die at any moment. So I think we're going to end the show. I want to thank everybody for coming out. I think coming on at noon is just as good as... So I might still stick with the Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And then Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, maybe we'll do these nooners. Saturday, we'll do 11 a.m. Sunday, day of rest. For the most part. So, all right, guys. Yeah, Squall Girl. Now I need a milkshake. You and me both. Squirrel Girl. Did I say Squall Girl? That was very... For one thing, I guess that's racist. Not supposed to say squaw. But this is Squirrel Girl, and I totally botched that. Sorry about that, Squirrel Girl. But thanks for being here. And yeah, now we all need milkshakes. Soulcraft Nooners Afternoon Delight with Trucker J. Afternoon Delight. Oh. David Granberry Terrace, Texas. Applesauce, cold and chugged, calming inside. You chug your applesauce? David Windler, I like noon. James Williams says Jesse and Glenn love the straw story. Funny how they're trying to find anything to talk about other than how terrible the Trump tariffs are, and what a big baby Trump is, and how stupid he is for accepting an airplane from the fucking Qatarians, and why won't he release the Epstein files? So I guess you got to go to the important stuff, like straw or no straw. Squirrel, it's okay. I spelled it silly on purpose, but I should learn how to read before I talk. Oh, read before I talk. I don't know why I just did that. Anyhow, John from Las Vegas is here. They are eminently hateable. Yes, they are. Thanks, John, for Las Vegas. Just getting in under the wire just before I'm ready to pull the plug on this show. Marcia says, thank you, Trucker John. I'll have to look for you at different times. And yeah, I know. I'm all over the place. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're going to try some nooners. Saturday, 11 a.m. Now, Saturdays will be kind of right after Hal, unless Johnny Million comes on. Now, Johnny Million last week came on right after Hal. So I don't know. Should I wait? Should I just come on after Hal? And then you guys are going to have to decide who to watch, me or Johnny Million? Or should I just let Johnny Million do his thing and come on after Johnny Million? I don't know. See, that's the thing. When you try to work around other people's schedules, then you can get paralyzed and never come on. So I'll probably just come on right after Hal. And if Johnny Million is playing, for those of you that have two devices, I would recommend you watch one of us on one device and the other on the other device. If you don't have two devices that you can watch YouTube on, maybe go back and forth a little bit. Spend a little time with each of us. Give us a thumbs up and a like. Well, that's the same thing. Give us a little bit of screen time watching or whatever. I don't know. But we'll figure that out. I sat next to a coworker who said that he would literally get sick if he watched any other channel than Fox. It was a real nice guy, but he fell for the propaganda. And see, that is like, if you're to that point, you are now a cult member. Rosanna says, Trucker John, thanks for the company. We love you. Thank you, Rosanna. I love you guys too. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit. Dash 2010 says 2010 Senate seat in LA stepped away from race. The position won by Mike Johnson, unchallenged. Oh, Louisiana, not LA. I didn't know Stormy was from Louisiana, or she moved to Louisiana. Chris Doug, my local diner does wicked good smoothies. Very berry mango madness. Fancy stop working around other people's schedules. Yeah, I guess so. The only ones I really care about, or the only one I really try to work around is Hal. That's kind of the one I do try to not, because I want to watch the Hal Sparks show. Marsha, I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for you, Marsha. I'm thankful for all of you guys for tuning in, liking, subscribing, sharing. One of these days we'll be at 4,000 subscribers, and one of these days I will eat that damn dandelion. But thanks so much. Fancy Yuck, I'm sure they are good if you like artichoke. Stuffed artichokes. Anyhow. All right, guys. I'm not sure what is that emoji that Brooklyn did? I don't even know what that is. It's like looking through your hands or something. I don't know what that is. All right, guys. So thanks for hanging out. This was today. I just tried this out. I think it works. This time slot works. So maybe we'll do some more of them. And tomorrow is Saturday, so I'll come on tomorrow. I guess I'll just come on right after Hal, and we can do a Hal Sparks post-show hangout and see how it goes. All right, guys. I'll see you then. Remember, words of wisdom, pad and pen time. Get out your pad, get out your pen, take down these words of wisdom. All right? So, all right, here we go. Here's the words of wisdom. So, guys, just
well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant. I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid. But doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. Don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again.
Trucker John, on the road he rides, live streaming all through the nights. From politics to pop culture he speaks. No topic is off limits, nothing is weak. From Vegas to the highways, he'll never tire. Shouting about food, talking about desire. He's the rebel of the asphalt, the king of the night. With a microphone in his hand, he's ready to ignite. Freedom is his fuel, passion in his soul. Gotta express himself, gotta take control. Moving through the country, keeping it real, no filter, no holding back, nothing to conceal. Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food, the movies and bugs, shining a light on all the social issues. No shows, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. For free.